If Pixar is actually cooking up The Incredibles 3, then these 6 major secrets must be revealed in it, and number 1 will surely shock you. Will Mirage ever return? One of the most intriguing characters from the first film is Mirage. She was mysterious, charming, dangerous, and morally conflicted. Her loyalty instantly shifted when she realized that Syndrome didn't value her. She then risked everything to help the Parr family escape. But after the first movie, total silence about her. She was not mentioned even once in the second part. This is totally strange because The Incredibles rarely introduce characters without any purpose. Mirage was the character with more depth than just a disposable side character. In the accrual comics of The Incredibles, though non-canon, she becomes an agent at the NSA and even works with some former supers. Pixar could easily take a turn in that direction and adapt a version of that. She could potentially return in The Incredibles 3 as a government agent, gathering lethal intel, or maybe as someone trying to atone for her past involvement with Syndrome. Pixar could also take a big step and present her as a double agent with some hidden agenda, but the fans definitely want to see her in the upcoming movies. Her presence would bring some emotional tension into the universe. She knows more about Project Kronos than anyone else who is alive. She was the closest person to Syndrome, and she truly understands the dark systems behind all the super-targeting technology. The Incredibles 3 needs to address her fate. Will Jack keep all his powers? If the word overpowered had any physical definition, it would be Jack. This single character has dozens of abilities. To name a few, he has laser eyes, teleportation, multiplying, demon form, metal transformation, fire form, phasing, levitation, and dimension shifting. And these are just the ones we have seen, and there is still potential for more. Brad Bird himself confirmed that supers develop abilities that align with their personalities, and babies without defined personalities can behave like a blank canvas. This means they can manifest everything until their traits solidify, and super babies often display multiple powers that eventually fade away. So, while Jack appears to have unlimited potential for now, the real question is, will he grow up to be a god-tier hero, or just another super with only 1 or 2 abilities? Edna Mode gave a hint about this, that Jack is not a typical baby, and even she seemed to be shocked by the scope of his powers. This implies that he may be an anomaly, like a once-in-a-generation type super with abilities that won't fade, but evolve instead. Here is a scenario that most likely could happen. Jack may not keep every power, but he might be able to retain a core set that is tied to transformations, like metal form, monster form, goo body, fire form, and dimension hopping. These powers align with reshaping the body, which is similar to Elastigirl, but are more advanced and twisted. If we get to see a time jump of a few years in The Incredibles, we may finally see Jack as a toddler or young kid who could be old enough to control his abilities. Or maybe he could be chaotic enough to cause absolute mayhem. Can you imagine him trying to attend school while continuously shifting shapes from one to another? The fans of Pixar definitely need an answer to this. The true origin of supers. This is the biggest unanswered question in both movies. We all know that supers exist everywhere in the Incredibles universe. Some with laser eyes, others with elasticity, invisibility, telekinetics, or speed. But one thing we still don't know at all is how and where these powers come from. Think about it for a minute. Unlike other superhero universes like Marvel or DC, this franchise never established itself properly. We have zero explanation whether they are supers or mutants, some scientific experiment, or just a natural offshoot of humanity. Several questions need answers, like why does Mr. Incredible have unmatched strength? Why does Elastigirl stretch like rubber? Why does Violet manipulate force fields? This series treats all these abilities as completely normal, but the lack of origin about these powers makes things more mysterious for us, especially considering the timeline of the events. Supers appeared heavily during the Golden Age, which implies that they didn't exist centuries earlier. If superpowers were just a genetic mutation, wouldn't there be ancient supers already recorded in mythology? Or stories should have existed about powerful ancestors, but do we get to see any of these things in the story? We are given no such things about supers or their powers. Then there's too much involvement of the government. The NSA knew everything about supers. They already cataloged them, tracked them, and controlled their operations. Now, the question here is, why would a government agency have so much intimate detail about supers, unless they had a hand in their creation? Maybe the government created them to carry out such dangerous missions, but we are told nothing about it either. The theories made by fans are circulating on the internet, where some believe that the government actually selectively bred or engineered individuals with special abilities, and then they eventually produced some naturally superpowered children. Others also think that accidents or some scientific breakthroughs created the first generation, whose powers then got passed on genetically. But the biggest clue we have is personality-based abilities. Dash's hyperactivity acts as speed, and Violet's anxiety becomes its invisibility. This shows that the powers are actually physiological and not biological, which implies that some kind of mind-body enhancement experiment may have started this entire superpopulation thing. The Incredibles 3 would be a great opportunity to finally reveal whether supers were born, built, or manufactured. If Pixar wants to take the story into a deeper direction, then this mystery should be solved. Is Project Kronos really gone? Everybody thinks that Project Kronos has ended just because we all have seen Syndrome dying. But is that really it? Is the project also dead along with Syndrome? Syndrome's island was a treasure trove with all the advanced robotics and artificial intelligence. We saw various Omni-droid prototypes with remote control systems and mass surveillance networks. There were also the weapons, which were decades ahead of real-world technology, and many secret labs and research data. The government claimed to have all the assets of Syndrome frozen, but what about his island? We never saw his island getting dismantled. We never saw anything or data from the island getting destroyed. And also, we don't know who else took control of that island and all the technology present there. For someone to take control of this project, Kronos, they only need a copy of Syndrome's AI blueprint, and they will have a new generation of Omni-droids ready to face supers. In simple words, the Project Kronos may seem dormant at the time, but it's definitely not dead yet. If a villain takes Project Kronos to a global level by deploying autonomous anti-super systems in the whole world, such a threat would force the Incredibles to unite with every other hero, and we can have the largest scale in the whole franchise. What happened to the Underminer? One of the biggest loose ends in this franchise is the Underminer. He simply showed up at the end of movie 1, caused a lot of chaos in movie 2, and then just vanished. The Parr family fought against him, Frozone also tried fighting him, and Metroville nearly collapsed because of him. And still he managed to escape all this and was never seen again ever. Isn't this weird, considering that he caused massive financial destruction, endangered thousands of lives, and triggered an avalanche of political backlash against supers? If not anything else, he is the one responsible for almost undoing the entire legalization movement. So, where is he now? What punishment or consequences does he face? There are a few possibilities, like he could have gone deeper underground into some hidden base, or maybe he is planning a bigger threat after getting more machines. He could have also joined forces with another villain to attack again, or maybe he was just secretly part of a bigger organization that is behind multiple threats. The Underminer was the villain who openly declared that he supports the making of the underclass rich by taking from those above. This is not just villain dialogue, it's an entire ideology. Pixar never brings back the same villain twice, unless they really matter. The disappearance of Underminer is intentional, and Incredibles 3 will most probably reveal if he is still mining under Metroville and waiting to rise again with more power. If you're enjoying this mystery breakdown so far, please subscribe to our channel for more superhero movie breakdowns and secrets videos. Who exactly is Frozone's wife? One of the most anticipated mysteries of this famous franchise is about Frozone's wife. We all know the iconic line, "Where is my supersuit?" But we have never actually seen the woman behind this voice. Lucius and his wife have one of the funniest marital exchanges in the whole Pixar history, and yet we are already 2 movies in and the audience has never met her face to face. Early concept art for her exists on the internet, but it was never actually used. She was even planned for the second movie at one point, but then got cut. The creators kept the audience thinking and guessing what she looks like. Does she also secretly have powers too? Does she approve of Frozone fighting crime or not? All these questions actually help in the hype-making of the third movie, as the audience is still anticipating. Fans of this franchise want to know if she could become part of the squad in movie 3, or if she is already tired of Lucius risking his life for Metroville. Her appearance in the third movie could add comic relief and some more emotional depth, or maybe she will bring some unexpected conflict with her. Will Gamma Jack return from the dead? Gamma Jack is a very interesting and fascinating case of this franchise. In the lore, he was supposedly killed by the Omni-droids, but the NSA files provide deeper complexity about him. He saw humans as inferior living organisms. He was totally reckless, arrogant, and dangerously unpredictable. Why bother giving a dead character so much personality? Why make him so morally questionable? Why build so much depth for someone who no longer exists? Because Mr. Incredible staged his disappearance in the movies, some fans like to believe that Gamma Jack may have faked his death. When one super can do such a thing, then why not another one? Many fans would love to see Gamma Jack re-emerge in the upcoming Part 3 with a more prominent and stronger superiority complex, along with a belief that supers should rule humanity. He could also have a grudge against the government that abandoned them in times of need. A battle where heroes are fighting against a former hero who has gone rogue would be easily one of the most compelling plot twists from Pixar. A villain like Gamma Jack would be perfect for being anti-incredible, as he would be created from arrogance instead of revenge or ideology. This universe is filled with unfinished character arcs and mysteries that are begging for resolution. So, if Pixar is really going to give us The Incredibles 3, then fans deserve to get answers for these questions. Before you go, if you enjoyed this video, do subscribe to our channel for the next mystery breakdown video of any other movie.